I don't waste time going to the gym. I come out here, I get it done, I go back to work, I stay productive. I'm a happy man. Okay, let's talk equipment. What kind of stuff are you going to need to be able to train with me? Basically, everything you see in this frame is all I use. I've got a box of bits and pieces here that we'll go through, but the main thing you'll see is space. Most of the time, all I need is a bit of space. So that is the most important thing. That's where we start off with elements. That's a completely no equipment program. But as you get into some of the other programs like Mountain Proof Knees, Hike Strong, if you're doing coaching with me one-on-one, we're going to start to need a few bits and pieces eventually, just to make our life easier. So I'm going to go through some of this stuff. The first thing is a broomstick. Very useful for mobilizing the shoulders and testing what you're able to do with your scapula and your shoulder movement. This is like a set of bands. I'm going to be honest with you, most of these I don't use. The ones that I get the most use out of are this thin red one. The black one gets a bit of work. Green and purple I rarely use. There's a few things that I use those for, but I would just get the pack because the pack is quite cheap and it comes with this little bag and it keeps everything organized. You might need those eventually for some things. You can go and check out my kit. I've got all the details on this stuff if you want to see it, prices and everything. But they're from Intake. But yoga mat or just something soft to have under your knees. A lot of the time I just use one of my hiking mats, my thermarests. But if you're on the ground a lot, a hiking mat's going to come in handy. This one is from High Pulse. I like it because it's Cork, also Cork yoga blocks. I use these for certain, kind of for parallettes to get me up off the ground to do some upper body training. I can actually fake a step with these yoga blocks. They can be very useful in any kind of mobility drill where you need a bit of extra support, and I love Cork. Cork's nice. Foam roller, I would say that's just about essential. That's actually, I think, the only piece of equipment that is required in elements. Dumbbells, 8 kilogram changeable dumbbells, so I can get them all the way down to 1 kilo, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 8 on each. So in total, I've got 16 kilos there. Plenty for most people when they're starting off. I like dumbbells that are interchangeable because, you know, rather than having a whole set of dumbbells from 1 kilo up to 25 kilos or whatever, having something that's interchangeable is just so much better. It takes up way less space and ends up being cheaper. But these I bought from a secondhand store. It cost me a couple of bucks, and I mean, weight is weight at the end of the day. If I want to add to that, my weight vest. This is a 10 kilogram weight vest. This is just from Decathlon. So for certain movements where I need a little bit of extra resistance, I've got 16 kilograms here plus 10, so 26. And the kind of movements I'm doing, you know, I don't squat, I don't deadlift. Those movements require a lot of weight, 60, 80, 100 kilos. I haven't done any of those moves in years. What I'm training and what I want you to train is more difficult moves that require more mobility, more skill, and more of the muscles that are not worked in daily movement at all. It's the weakest link. So when we're training our weakest links, we don't need a lot of heavy weight, which is why a lot of this stuff is done at home. It's done quickly, easily, and with as minimal fuss as possible. I don't waste time going to the gym. I come out here, I get it done, I go back to work, I stay productive. I'm a happy man. Kettlebell. You know, this isn't essential, but I love kettlebells and I think they're a lot of fun. The rings. It's gonna be a bit bright here. So, here's my rings. Wooden from Decathlon. I don't have a pull-up bar here. So, I've just got them set up against the wall and I can do the main movements. Sometimes I'll take them out to the park and then I can do pull-ups, but for the most part, this is where I'm doing most of my training. A couple of other things that you have lying around the house that could be useful, and in fact will be useful. I think one of the most important ones is having something heavy under your feet so you can do Nordic curls. Something heavy that enables you to lock your heels in so we can load the hamstrings, so we can start to do our Nordic curls. You need to be a little bit inventive if you're not going to be training in a gym. Last thing is some kind of step or box. I've got a little 2-step setup that I use for step ups, for step downs, and lots of other different moves. It's really, really handy. This step has been invaluable throughout the last couple of years with COVID. I was doing step sessions on this. The beauty of it is that you can use a high step or you can use a low step. A couple of my clients in the past have actually built them because I've given the exact dimensions of this one. So if you want to build it, if you're handy with wood, you can build that. It can be used as a bench. You can lie down here. You can do all the normal bench stuff that you would do. I've been able to figure everything out that I need just basically from things around home, a couple of cheap pieces of equipment I bought from secondhand stores or online, and this is everything you need. Now, you don't need to go out and buy all of this equipment. This is the stuff that I use in all of my programs. It would take you 2 years to get through all this coaching and need all of this equipment, but each one of my programs and my coaching courses lists the equipment that you need that is essential and the other stuff that is kind of ideal or that would be useful. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you on the summit.